I have turned 19 recently in September, and well, it doesn't just have its own cons that you think that okay, I'm like getting older right now, and then 19 has come by, and then 20, I will just be 20 within like no time, inshallah, if Allah wills. Inshallah, please pray for my long life, that I should live long and I should collect more good deeds, and I should leave the world when Allah is the most pleased with me, inshallah. Ameen summa ameen. So keep me in your prayers, inshallah. I'll keep you guys in my prayers. But, I've turned 19 and I feel like I am quite like old enough, even though it has its own cons and people say that you're not 18 anymore, whatever. I think that I also realize that one of the good parts about it is that I'm rather grown, right? It's also we're nearing towards the end of the year 2023, and if you would have met the Khairunnisa of January, she's so different to me now. Alhamdulillah, this year has been the year of evolutions. Literally, I have changed so much, I have evolved so much, learned so many new things, and honestly, let me just give this to the internet, the credits of this, because there are so many good people. Like, we talk so much about that, how internet is so distracting for people and this and that, and internet just keeps kids away from, you know, the practical things. Maybe that is true to an extent, but then the internet is also a world where knowledge is so commonly exchanged. Knowledge, you need to spread knowledge, you need to gain knowledge, as encouraged by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So yes, I am so glad that I have learned so many things this year, which I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. Firstly, like, I always like believed and heard when I was 18 or younger that it is very important for you to say no, but then I never really believed in that, or I never really practiced that up until last year actually, because I started actually telling no to people and places that I didn't want to be around or be in. Like, and then, you know, initially it was very difficult because I've been a people pleaser without realizing, subconsciously throughout my life. Like, even right now, it's like everyday training kind of a thing to not go against myself to please somebody, or go out of the way to please somebody. Like, if I want to and if it comes out of my heart, I will do it, but not to gain that validation. Because even if I'm trying to do something, this is the thing, if I'm doing something for somebody and if they think that, oh my god, this person has done this for me, but for all you know, if I'm a people pleaser, I may have done that just because I have this fear of being abandoned because of saying no. Maybe because of that, right? And then this person might have this whole wrong image that, oh wow, this person actually really likes me. But now, like this year, what I've adopted is, if I like somebody, I'm gonna do it for them. So if I'm doing something for someone, it is evident that I have liking for you. But if I don't do it for you, then yeah, maybe I just don't feel like doing it, you know. And when it comes to like charity, at home, in relatives, and outside of home, zakat should be done, donation should be done. I'm not saying, you know, because times are very sensitive, and I am very sensitive towards these issues. What is happening in Gaza, you all should not think a second. If you're capable of donating for the relief of Gaza. People are dying. Humanity comes from being that person who is giving, because Allah blesses us. All of this is temporary in the end of the day, the money, everything. So if you have money, donate it. If you can help somebody, give it. It is a reminder, guys, if you haven't donated and if you're in the position to donate, please do so. Guys, I hope you're making duas for the children of Gaza and Palestine, or for the women and children and people who are dying, who are the victim unfair of the war, who are dying. I hope you're praying for them, and if you are capable of donating from your end, or sharing links of donations to anybody who can donate, please do so, inshallah. Allah will bless you on the day of judgment, and this is what the bare minimum that we can do from our end. In terms of like doing something for someone, like if I feel like doing it, this is out of question. Like, being a good human is out of question. I am talking say for example, oh yeah, this has been very relevant. People are sitting in a group discussion and they may be involved in mocking somebody, or a disingenuous conversation that you might not like, and you're asked to be a part of it, and you know in your gut you wouldn't enjoy it, and you know in your gut it is a sin to be a part of such conversations, you leave the place. You don't think that, oh, they would be upset. Well, they will not. Honestly, people don't even think so much. They'll be, this girl is boring. okay, I would rather be boring than be a person who gets or gives entertainment by mocking, putting down, or insulting somebody, right? So if you don't feel like doing something, just don't do it. If you don't feel like being a part of a good group conversation, if you feel like you might not be in good terms with those friends anymore, don't. Just don't. And I cannot tell you the number of times I've had people get pissed at me because I just didn't sit with them, or I just didn't like the vibe and I didn't understand them. You cannot really help others thinking. If they think that, oh, she's boring, let them think. Are you boring because of them? Don't you have friends that you enjoy with? Don't you have your comfort person that you enjoy with? Allah knows you're not boring. This is just an example, but for anything, right? In 9th standard, I was in a co-ed school, and this one girl liked a guy. So this girl was from 8th, this guy was from 10th, I was from 9th, sort of a mediator, okay? This girl asked me to report it because I was this big time extrovert in school. So she asked me to convey the message to him, and I did it. And like, in Urdu you say phasi, itna badly that you cannot imagine. Because my coordinator got to know and she was like, what is this mediator you're becoming? But then, naturally I knew that somewhere I saw the consequences coming. I saw it, but I still did it. Oh, because she's my closed one's friend, so she should be happy. She has an impression of me that I'm an extroverted girl, so I need to live up to that. No. Today I am known as this girl maybe who is kind by some of my friends. Tomorrow, if I do something, if I refuse to do something for them, if they think that I'm not kind, and if they give a 360 degrees rotation even to their opinion of me, it shouldn't define who I am, because I know who I am. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Isn't the world doing that already for you? There's tens and tens of people who might have a wrong, negative opinion of you. And funny thing is, everybody might be having bits and pieces of different opinions, and for all you know, those opinions might not even match to each other. Polar opposite, negative only, let's talk. But then, that's the thing about others knowing you versus you knowing you. And let's just not even say you knowing you, Allah knowing you and others knowing you. Allah knows you the best. He has seen you. So He has seen you in the moments where other people haven't seen. They all left, they all weren't there. Allah has seen you at that time. Allah was there. He saw the tears. He saw when you were weak. He saw when you were helpless. Now, which of these people were there when you were at your lowest? And honestly, I swear, I have no complaints with these people. No complaints with anybody. I am just saying that when somebody finds it very easy with two or three meetings with you to judge you just because you said no for something, or just because you draw some boundaries, does not mean that you are what they decided you to be. And then we also, our subconscious people-pleasing personality just tells us that, oh, maybe they are right. How? If you have any logic, you have lived with yourself for the longest. Now, if a person has seen you for a little while, an aspect of you, they don't know what's going on in you, 10 different emotions going inside of you, 10 different thoughts running in your head, they do not know that. And I'm not saying that be anything and let people accept you the way you are, but it's when you draw the boundary, it's when you do not forego or let go of something that is not possible to just let go. Last thing you need to care about is what people will think. If they form a judgment about you just on the basis of that one boundary or no, or multiple even, doesn't matter, then let them. Honestly, I cannot again tell you the number of friends that I've lost just because I drew my boundaries, and the number of taunts I used to hear just because I used to speak to everybody and I refused to get attached to a certain bunch of people. I used to be told, oh, you got a new friend every single day. Oh, you talk to everyone. You belong to that Kabila. This and that. And I'm like, okay, fine. Say whatever you want. But in the end of the day, Allah knows like my intention. He knows with friendships what all I've gone through in the past for me to now get attached to a group and sit and laugh. No. And this one thing, okay, I have started an Instagram account recently, and literally the girls from my college intermediate, the girls that I literally thought hated me because they used to look at me, mock at me, talk about me behind my back, whatever I used to hear gossip going on, they stalk me every day, literally every day. Some I think don't have that baggage anymore. Maybe they've changed their opinion, or they've just been like bygones be bygones. But some of these girls, they stalked me every day, and they literally like provoked me in class groups through their text messages. And they had the audacity to watch my stories every day, like my reels, and then they followed me. And 3-4 girls like that followed me, okay? And I was like, okay, let them, I'm not blocking you, watch my reels if you want. Like I just didn't care. The minute they would follow me, if I would upload a story, they would see it and they unfollowed me. And the backstory, I'm sure, is, how can she not follow me back? You were never nice to me. How can you expect me to follow you? Maybe the reason you chose to follow me, maybe there is something to look up to me. Maybe there is not to me, but there's something that made you follow me. To me, there is nothing that makes me want to follow you. So I do not follow back. And it's incredible how they expect me to follow them back without ever talking to me. After having provoked me, I'm like, wow. But then this is the thing, when you do your thing, you're just yourself, you're being yourself, people are going to then just come to you. And the people that claim to hate you, they'll watch you the hardest, by the way, because they don't hate you, yeah. They're just jealous. There's some wounded feminine energy in such girls especially that makes them get provoked. And it's not just girls, honestly. If anybody has something that is not going well for them within themselves, they will be jealous. When they see you, they will be triggered. When they see you happy, when they see you confident, they will be triggered. And last thing you need to take personally is then their actions and their comments. And then here you go, man. There were times that I wanted to change literally college because of some of these girls, because of how provocative they were. And now they're like, some of them are stalking me. They have the audacity to follow me and then unfollow me if I don't follow them back. When you draw your boundary, a lot of people are going to get upset, even if they know very well why on earth would you draw a boundary with them. They are bound to get upset, and you just don't have to care about them being upset, honestly. And the people that have boundaries themselves and respect others' boundaries, they will not care. The other day I was in a meeting, all right, and there was some work-related thing, and one of my colleagues, let's say, and the person who hired me, they were there. But 2 people, they wanted to talk privately. Like, we had a meeting, it was 30 minutes, and they said, okay, now we want to talk privately, can you leave the meeting? Is there anything you want to say? You could leave. And I was like, sure, I'll leave. Yeah, have a good day, good night. Because it's your boundary, I respect it. I just couldn't care less. And that is what happens when you have your boundaries and you respect other boundaries. And you know why others could have a boundary. Life becomes so much easier when it's not just that you learn to say no and draw boundaries, but you also learn how to take no and take others' boundaries. Like, healthy relationships are only established like that. The friend that I call, like, that is the closest to me now, we speak to each other like once in 2 weeks. Literally. And she's a close friend of mine. I can say that right now. Because there is loyalty, because the criteria of our friendship, I read this in this book, Mark Manson, and this is the analogy that I've formed over a period of time myself, okay? So I'll give a little bit of credit to myself as well. So there is this person, okay? This Mark Manson says in his book that if I have, like, basically he uses the relationship he has with his brother. It is quite raw, it is quite cold, he said. Not in his exact words because I don't remember them, but basically they don't check in on each other that often. They don't have that funny brotherly banter with each other. How siblings just fight and laugh with each other and just always are together. They don't have it with each other. And he said that it's okay because the criteria on the basis of which he defines a relationship to be a healthy relationship differs from what others' criteria is. Some people on the internet, this is what I hear a lot. They say, if I cannot roast you, then you are not my friend. If I am not mean to you, then sorry, we are not close. Okay. I'm not even taking this personally, but anybody, if you see that, and if somebody is actually respectful to you, be glad actually. Some of their friends might be suffering for all, who likes to be roasted, yeah? If that is the criteria for you, that is completely alright. That is not the criteria for a lot of people. Insult, roast, not a lot of people like it. One friend, I have another very friend that I became friends with recently that I just don't talk to very often. And it's like sometimes I just call her and tell her, hey, you know what, let's go out and this and that. And she's like, no, I cannot go out with you. It's so overwhelming that you invited me, but I cannot go out on that day. I am busy with something else. and I'm okay with it, and we're still friends because people respect each other's boundaries. Like with this other friend as well, like the metric by which I measure a successful friendship is not by talking every single day anymore, because I've realized that that doesn't work for me. I start developing expectations and attachment that way, so I keep my distance. And I have amazing regards for my friends. I do good things for them, they do good things for me. We help each other, we're there for each other, we're there in each other's prayers, that I know. But then to be with somebody 24/7, to be clinging on to them, is when you have something in your personality that is lacking that they might be able to complete. Never give another human the power to complete you. Be it your parents, be it your spouse, be it any human on this planet Earth. Never give them the power to complete you as a person. Because two whole people, two whole individuals make a good unit. Two halves do not make a unit. They don't. In Islam, it is said that a wife completes her husband's half of the deen when they two get married. And here, alhamdulillah, it's about the deen. It's about looking at each other and practicing the deen together. Again, here, when it comes to a lot of other things about emotional aspect, broken person coming into a relationship or in a marriage is the worst thing they can do for each other. Worst. They will trigger each other without knowing, but then fix yourself and then get into a marriage. With my friend, like, I have this distance, right? And it's okay to have distance. I can talk to my friend once a week and I can know it's good because it's in between the two of us. We mutually do know it's good. Another thing is work on your emotional intelligence. Work on your emotional strength. It is very, very important, especially if you're sensitive. You have to be able to navigate this life. It's not easy as a sensitive person in this dunya. It is not. So you have to build your strength emotionally, mentally. You have to work on your emotional strength by practicing breathing exercises, deep breathing, journaling. If you have a thought that is provoked by a past trauma, I'll tell you one thing, okay? Write down the thought, write down the meaning of the thought, the meaning that you put to that thought, and write down what triggers the thought. And something like that, right? Something around that. And that in itself is so, it just makes everything make sense. And then you realize, oh my God, it's not even that big of a deal. I am not exaggerating. Sabse pehle speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the prayer mat and break down everything to him. And while you're talking to him, how can you not expect him to just have it get figured out for you? Ask him for anything and everything. It's not impossible. So gain that emotional strength, okay? That emotional strength, being in your corporate life or in your entrepreneurial life, personal life, career, any emotional strength will take you long way in life. Differentiate constructive criticism with personal attacks. And the best part, after I started like not being sensitive to people anymore, the best thing that has happened to me, even if somebody tries personal attacks, it doesn't affect me, because I know that when they're trying that, it's never me. It's something that is triggered in them. It's their inner insecurity. It is just some emotion in them that is for them to deal with, not for me. Because earlier, with no knowledge on this emotional intelligence, I used to think that, this is how they feel, so I need to fix it. What can I do next to make them please? It is the most toxic thing you can do to yourself. When you see that somebody like attacking towards you personally or anything, when you know that there's something in them that they need to work on, it's over for everybody. You've taken that power from everybody to, literally, I'll tell you guys only, I did telecalling for something, right? This a few days back, called around 450 people to invite over for an event. So many of them were so rude on me, so rude. And after a point, after I started noticing many patterns of some people, they stopped disturbing me. I told you it's my decision. I will tell you if I want to. Extra frustration. Or if I would just end up pronouncing their name wrong, they would, with so much emphasis, no, but it is this. How can you pronounce my name wrong? Wrong number. I was told that it's not the opportunity for me. And you know what my reactions were? Okay, thank you for your time. Cut. Bye. I stopped letting it get to me because I realized the simple fact, it has nothing to do with me. Khairunnisa 12 months back would have cried her eyes out. So I shouldn't be harsh on my younger self. She would have cried her eyes out if people spoke to her like that. But now, I still will distance myself from anybody who speaks to me like that. But I know, if you do even, it's nothing to do with me. And the power that I got after realizing that, is incredible. Incredible. And that is why I recommend you guys also to sort of just learn psychology. Learn psychology. I kid you not, you will not regret it. Learn human psychology. The way dark psychology, don't practice it. I mean, honestly, I don't like to practice those games. There's one whole section of social media where it's like men are teaching other men the game to get women, and women are teaching the women to get game to get the man. And I'm just like that. But then if you don't just study psychology for that, and then they keep suggesting these books, and some of these books turn out to be the books that anybody can read for any reason, right? Not just for particularly getting guys or girls. But I understand, yeah, you have to be fit, you have to be physically, mentally fit to be getting into a relationship, but that is just a small aspect of it. In a broader spectrum, learning psychology, gaining knowledge on a whole is very rewarding with anything in this world. And when you realize that, like when you actually go out and live, you would know that like relationships and everything, maybe after you get married I would know better, but then I really just refuse to believe that it's got everything to do with relationships. Like the whole psychology, dark psychology dynamic only applies into relationship. It only helps or benefits in relationships. The more you're aware, the more you're accepting. When you're accepting, you're not tensed, you're not stressed. When you're not stressed, you're cool. What do we not want? The first thing we don't want is stress. It is stress, literally. So yes guys, and if this video has helped you in any way, do consider liking the video, sharing this video, and subscribing to my channel. Inshallah, I will meet you guys in my next video. Until then, Allah Hafiz.